Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our Special Needs Corner. Today, in this explainer, we're going to talk about a really important idea. It's called the strengths-based approach in special needs education. To start us off, I want you to picture a unique flower in a garden. Imagine a flower shaped like a single, elegant cone or a cup, instead of having lots of separate petals. Well, we wouldn't say that flower is broken just because it looks different from a common daisy, right? No way. We'd appreciate it for exactly what it is. That simple, powerful idea is exactly what we're exploring today. We're going to look at how we can focus on what learners do best, rather than just focusing on what they might struggle with. Okay, let's dive right into this.
Right here, we have a really cool image. Imagine 4 solid outlines of human heads facing sideways. Inside each head, there's a different picture representing how a mind might work. One head has a blooming flower growing inside it, maybe showing a deep connection to nature or growth. Another head has musical notes floating inside, representing a mind that thinks in rhythm and sound. The next head has puzzle pieces fitting together perfectly, showing a talent for solving complex problems. And the last one shows mechanical gears turning, representing a mechanical or deeply logical way of thinking. This is a metaphor, which is just a symbol used to explain a larger idea. The symbol shows us that every single person has a completely different kind of brain, with their own unique strengths, interests, and talents. In a real classroom, this means one student might learn best by singing a song, while another learns best by building something with their own hands. For a very long time, society used something called the medical model. Let me read the definition we have here. The medical model is viewing disability as a medical problem within an individual that needs treatment or fixing. Under this old way of thinking, teachers and doctors focused mostly on what a learner could not do. They actively looked for skill gaps, delays, and weaknesses. For example, if a child had a hard time writing with a pencil, almost all of the educational focus would go into forcing them to practice handwriting for hours. They spent all their time and energy trying to treat and fix these specific problems. It was like treating the student as a patient who was sick rather than a learner with lots of potential. So the crucial point is that focusing only on weaknesses makes us miss golden opportunities. When teachers only look at what is wrong or what needs fixing, they might completely overlook what a learner is actually really good at. Imagine that same child who struggles with pencil grip and writing. If the teacher only sees the messy handwriting, they might completely miss the incredible fact that this child can build amazingly complex robots, or has a perfect memory for historical dates, or possesses a deep natural musical ability. By only trying to fix the weaknesses, we miss the chance to find out what the learner actually loves to do, and where their true life-changing talents are hiding. This brings us to a fantastic new way of thinking, introduced by a writer named Thomas Armstrong. It's called the neurodiversity perspective. As it says right here, the neurodiversity perspective is about celebrating differences in human brains, just like scientists celebrate different plants and animals in nature. Think about it this way. Just as a rainforest is healthy because it's full of many different wonderful types of plants, birds, and insects, our human world is better because we have many different wonderful types of brains. Some brains are wired to be highly observant, some are wired to be deeply empathetic, and some are wired to easily recognize complex patterns. These differences are completely natural, and they absolutely should be celebrated. Thomas Armstrong shares a wonderful thought on this that beautifully captures our earlier example. Let's read this quote together, nice and slow. He wrote, "We don't look at a calla lily and say that it has petal deficit disability. We appreciate its beautiful shape." Now, a calla lily is that unique flower we imagined at the very beginning of our time together today. It's shaped like a simple, smooth cone or a cup, instead of having lots of separate petals like a daisy or a rose. When we see one in a garden, we do not judge the calla lily for being different. We don't try to tape extra petals onto it or say it's broken. We just appreciate its own special, beautiful shape. We should look at human learners the exact same way. Each learner is growing exactly as they are meant to. This shift in mindset creates a clearer comparison between two very different ways of teaching. On one side, we have a deficit orientation, which is focusing on a learner's weaknesses. And versus that, on the other side, we have the diversity perspective, which is focusing on a learner's strengths. Moving from the first way of thinking to the second represents a profoundly positive shift. Instead of acting like a doctor endlessly looking for a sickness to cure, educators should act like gardeners. A gardener doesn't yell at a plant for not growing fast enough. Instead, they change the soil, they adjust the water, and they find the right amount of sunlight to help each unique plant grow perfectly. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when we make this change. We start creating positive ecosystems. The key ways to do this are to learn according to strengths, move away from focusing on weaknesses, and finally, help students become who they are truly meant to be. A positive ecosystem in a classroom is just a healthy, supportive environment that is tailored to the student. For instance, if a student is great at drawing but struggles with speaking in front of groups, a positive ecosystem lets them draw an incredible comic book for their book report instead of forcing them to give an oral presentation. When we create classrooms that focus on what students do best, they feel supported, their anxiety drops, and they can easily thrive. So, how do we actually put this into practice? There are 3 concrete steps that educators, parents, and society must take to properly support learners with special needs. Step 1, shift mindsets toward a strengths-based approach. We must fundamentally change how we think about disability, permanently moving away from that old medical model. Step 2, acknowledge unique abilities and talents. Teachers and parents have to clearly see, write down, and point out what each learner is good at. This might mean keeping a journal of when a child seems happiest and most engaged during the day. Step 3, provide opportunities for learners to excel. We must give them real, daily chances to do the things they find interesting and to succeed at them. If a learner loves trains, we should use trains to teach them math, reading, and history.
To summarize everything we learned today, the big takeaway is right here. Focus on strengths and give every learner the opportunity to shine. When we move away from just trying to fix problems and start celebrating what makes every human brain special, we create a much better world for everyone. We give every learner, no matter how their brain is wired, the chance to be successful, confident, and happy in their own unique way. They get to bloom exactly as they are. Thanks for watching. God bless.